just the nicest.
Moose chili and moose cheese dogs. That's what Sarah Palin says she was cooking at her house over the weekend. She let cameras in for the show, and she's letting cameras follow her pretty much everywhere lately. She is on a media blitz. She appeared on the Today Show this morning. She let her daughter Piper talk to NBC's Matt Lauer. Take a look.
Did you miss much school?
A lot of school.
Yeah, and how's that now? Is it hard to catch up?
Yeah. It's really hard.
So you're 7 now, so if your mom comes in 4 years, you'll be 11, and she says, Piper, kids, here we go again. Another campaign. How would you feel about it?
I don't know.
You know?
Would you want to do it again, sister?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
How adorable is she? 7-year-old Piper Palin. As for her mom, expect to see a lot more of her in the days to come. She'll be on CNN tomorrow, interviewed twice, first by Wolf Blitzer and then by Larry King. Man, what a difference a couple weeks makes. We could not get this woman on our air to save our lives, and now she's all over it. For many Americans, it's a very different Sarah Palin than the one during the campaign. Up close, here's 360's Joe Johns.
Remember the big introduction?
I will be honored to accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States.
The star of the convention, Sarah Palin, won over the party faithful with her folksy charm, conservative values, and a killer sense of timing.
I love those hockey moms. You know, they say the difference between a hockey mom and a pit bull? Lipstick.
When she stuck to the script, reading from prompters and papers, Palin was always on message. Her role? Lift up the base and tear down the opposition.
Our opponent is someone who sees America as imperfect enough to pal around with terrorists who targeted their own country.
Palin granted few interviews, but when she did, it didn't always go well.
As Putin rears his head and comes into the airspace of the United States of America, where do they go? It's Alaska. It's just right over the border.
She soldiered on, drawing large and enthusiastic crowds and heavy fire. Then came the election, the crushing defeat, and more fire, this time from within the ranks of a defeated campaign. But the loss freed Palin, and she's reintroducing herself and not holding back. Call it Sarah Palin's extreme makeover. Step 1, smack down the critics, those anonymous McCain advisors who described her as a diva.
You know, come on up and travel with us to Alaska and see this diva lifestyle that I supposedly live or would demand, because that's just false.
And what about the whispers that she didn't know the countries that make up NAFTA, or that Africa was a continent?
That's cruel, it's mean-spirited, it's immature, it's unprofessional, and those guys are jerks if they came away with it, taking things out of context.
Step 2, get back to basics, rebuild the brand. She invited cameras inside her home while she cooked moose chili and tried again to cast off that $150,000 plus campaign wardrobe. Here's what she told the Today Show this morning.
What is patently false is that I ever asked anybody at this convention to go out and buy me anything.
As for the attacks against Obama, ancient history.
Because this is Barack Obama's time right now, and this is an historic moment in our nation, and this can be a shining moment for America in our history. And look what we're talking about. Again, we're talking about my shoes and belts and skirts.
But is it too much too soon?
She has the right chutzpah and charisma to succeed as a national candidate, but she's in danger of overexposure, she's in danger of looking too selfish, and she's in danger of really becoming somebody who's not credible or relevant to the Republican Party. That's the challenge for her right now.
And a big gamble for a politician still commanding attention.
We know that she's at the Republican Governors Association meeting tomorrow. She's going to do some interviews on CNN. Has she been reflective at all of what went on? I mean, it was interesting. We heard President Bush today talking to Heidi Collins kind of about some of the mistakes he feels he has made, some of the language he used. Has she admitted to any failures?
No, she hasn't been apologetic. She essentially has said she was impatient, particularly in that interview with Katie Couric. Matt Lauer asked her about that, too. But she said it wasn't her style to sort of repeat the memorized lines that the campaign gave her. So, but as far as
she's saying.
Yeah, but as far as admitting that perhaps she botched the interview, no, she hasn't said that.
All right, Joe Johns, thanks so much. Just a quick reminder, Sarah Palin sits down in the Situation Room, CNN's Wolf Blitzer. That gets away tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then, of course, he's with Larry King at 9.